later.
We were running back and forth across the English Channel, I think, until maybe August the 10th of 45.
Mm-hmm.
Then we came back to the United States after that.
Oh, and you did your ship was what, your LSD?
Yes.
Was one of those ships.
There were
that-
30-some LSTs that were used during the invasion.
And that's what they did
Mhm.
during that time.
We not only put troops on the beach, but we put tanks, we put trucks, we put anything and everything. It was a flat bottom vessel. And the LST was born for that reason. Eisenhower, Churchill, and the French, de Gaulle, they all made their mind up well in advance that they had to have some kind of a ship that could land on the beach and put troops and everything on French soil. So in New Orleans, Andrew Higgins invented the LST, and then he invented and designed the smaller amphibious ships that were used.
Now, could you read one day's activities?
Yes.
From your resume?
Okay, well, let's see here. All right, well, let's take June the 4th. To the best of my memory, around 1800 hours, we got underway, and not long after, we cleared the anchorage area, a line of ships that you would not believe could be seen on the horizon, as if passing in review. Where we headed, we did not know, but we knew we would have a lot of company. Yes, it was a typical English weather, rainy, windy, and rough. Suddenly, shortly after midnight, we turned around and head back to Anchorage because Eisenhower felt that the weather was too bad, and for that reason, he postponed the invasion for one day, from the 5th to the 6th. And then around 1800 we got underway again. This time the weather was better, and by midnight the announcement came for CHEF, which was the Supreme Headquarters Allied Expeditionary Force, that the big show was on. Want me to continue?
Mm-hmm. Well, is that the end of the day?
Yeah, then early the morning of June the 6th, this is the big day, reached what I learned was called the holding area, which I believe was just over the horizon from the beaches. Code name Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword. I'll give you a little idea what these names represent. Utah was one of the 3 American beachheads. We had Omaha east and west, and Utah north and south. The other beachheads on French soil were called Gold, which was Canadian, Juno, which was English, and Sword was English. All of these 3 beaches were used in delivering troops and equipment for the Canadians and the British. Never had anyone seen so many ships in one area in their life. And just for the record, the same went on for airplanes, both coming and going. Later in the afternoon, we began to move toward the beaches with 17 of the LSTs breaking off. When they use the word break off, they meant some of them went to Omaha to the left and some went to the right, which was Utah. So eventually, all of the ships did go over, and eventually all of them were able to unload on the beaches and came back, and that was the beginning of many, many trips by all of these LSTs.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And then after you completed this tour of duty, which was in August, you did this every day until August. Then what did, were you reassigned or?
No, we came back, and eventually they didn't need these ships anymore, so they were really scrapped when they came back.
Oh, so you were assigned to another ship?
Well, we went back to Little Creek, and we waited there until we got discharged, which was in 46.
Oh, so you did that all, you were in that same duty all the time?
That's correct.
And you stayed in this area in France?
That's correct, that's right.
And what was your duty like?
Well, my duties aboard ship, largely, you did everything that they needed done. In a lot of cases, I worked with the deck force. In some cases, I was a quartermaster. Some cases, I handled the radar when we were underway. So between those three assignments, that kept me pretty busy during that period aboard the ship.
And you didn't have any leave for any R&R? Or anything?
Well, during that period of time over in England, we had a number of occasions where we had 48 and 72-hour leaves.
Like passes. And did you go into the cities that you were near?
Well, yes, we visited Southampton, Plymouth, Falmouth, Cardiff, Wales.
Wales.
Yeah,
And
had a lot of nice memories.
and then you went. Then you were discharged from your time, or did you go back to the States to get discharged?
Came back to the States and got discharged.
And this was in when?
This was in April of 46.
So you were in from 44 to 46.
Well, my birthday was October the 10th, 1943, and I was right after, when I became 18, I was drafted.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
No, but I didn't go in until November, even though I was 18 in October. So.
And then when you were discharged, you went home for. How was your? How did you get home from? Where were you discharged, at the Great Lakes, or?
Yes, I was discharged at Great Lakes.
And when you came back from England or France, which
Aboard the ship.
aboard?
The same ship that I went over on.
Oh, I see. Okay, that was an LSD.
LST, correct.
And
By the way, I might mention to you that there is two LSTs from World War II that are still floating. One is in Muskegon, and the other one is in Evansville, Indiana.
They're near the Great Lake. I mean, Muskegon is in the Great Lakes, so they keep them on the Great Lakes.
And they too were a part of D-Day.
And they use them there for museums. It's interesting. And then you went. Went home on. Did you have leave before you went home, or you got your leave after you came home?
Well, I think I had leave when I came back. We had a certain number of days. Then I reported back to Little Creek, and then from there they assigned me to Little Creek, and I stayed at Little Creek until I had enough points to get discharged.
Oh, to get. And how did you get from these different places? By bus or by?
Well, I think in most cases it was bus, either bus or train, one or the other.
Did you go individually, or did you travel with other people?
Well, we traveled with one or more people that were going to end up at the same place.
Did you make many friends while you were in the same?
Oh, yes, yeah, we made a lot
All
of
the
friends,
time?
a lot